word sounds like the last two of these syllables. For example, if I gave you the clue, what the Italians smell in their capital city, you would say Roma, aroma.
Oh dear.
Okay?
Oh dear. Okay.
You never know what you're going to get here. Here's number one. Someone who says actor O'Toole's name over and over.
Peter Repeater.
Peter Repeater is right. Try this one. A biting insect in Ecuador's capital.
Keto mosquito.
There you go, keto mosquito. A Mexican dish wrapped in a corn husk that's made in a West African country.
Okay, so tamale?
Yes.
Mali tamale.
A Mali tamale, good. A breed of sheep in a large Nevada city.
That one's going to be hard.
Yeah, you know this. What's a large Nevada city?
I'm going to go with Reno or Reno.
Yeah, Reno is it. You know a breed of sheep that ends in Reno?
I don't think I do.
Merino?
That might be the tough part of this. It's a merino, so it's a Reno Merino, M-E-R-I-N-O.
Merino wool.
Think
Sorry,
of sweaters.
There you go.
Thanks.
All right, here's your next one. A remover of pencil marks that's in the shape of an Indy 500 car.
Eraser.
Calculating.
That's it.
Drive
Here's your last
0.7
one.
miles.
A very small cocktail with an olive.
A teeny martini.
A teeny martini. Good job.
That's the only kind I would dare to drink. Wendy, when you play our puzzle, you get a weekend edition lapel pin as well as puzzle books and games, and you can read all about it at npr.org/puzzle. So, Wendy, you did a great job.
Thanks, I had some help.
So could you tell us about your public radio station?
Sure, KQED here in Berkeley, California.
Wendy Lynn of Berkeley, California. Thank you very much for playing the puzzle.
Thank you.
Okay, Will, you have the challenge for next week?
Yes, it's a number puzzle by Sam Lloyd, the great American puzzle maker, whose Cyclopedia of Puzzles was published exactly 100 years ago. It's not a very hard puzzle. You have a target with 6 rings
At roundabout.
bearing the
Take
numbers
first exit to
16,
US 1.
17, 23, 24, 39, and 40. How can you score exactly 100 points by shooting at
Take
the
first
target?
exit to US 1.
So here again, you have a target with 6 rings with the numbers 16, 17, 23, 24, 39, and 40. How can you score exactly 100 points by shooting at the target?
I already find it impossible. However, when you have the answer, please go to our website, npr.org/puzzle, and click on the Submit Your Answer link. Just one entry per person, please. Our deadline for entries is Thursday, August 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern. Please include a telephone number where we can reach you at about that time. And if you are the winner, we'll give you a call and you'll get to play on the air. The puzzle editor of the New York Times
right
and
onto
Weekend Edition's
I-95 North.
puzzle master Will Shorts. Will, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Linda.
Next, a book called Friendswood by Renee Steinke. Friendswood is a Texas town, not quite on the Gulf, almost part of Houston. It's the writer's hometown. In the book, the town is next to a serious pollution site where chemical byproducts of oil refining were dumped on the land and into the water. One of the leading characters believes that chemical dump caused her daughter's death. Now, a local man wants to build houses on the site again. When I spoke with Steinke, she began by telling me about her inspiration for the book, The Real Town, called Friendswood.
I grew up in Friendswood, Texas, and left when I was about 20.
Keep left to Route 128 north.
Friendswood in the book resembles more the Friendswood of my upbringing, a little bit more rural than it is today. The environmental catastrophe that takes place in the book did actually happen in the town, something very similar. Basically, petroleum chemicals were dumped in a field next to
Drive
a
4.5
subdivision,
miles on Route
and
128
when people
north.
started to become ill, the houses had to be abandoned and most of them were demolished. And it was a big news story in the early 90s.
Now, you're telling a kind of a biblical tale here. some terrible sin has been committed against the earth and of course, against the people who live on it. And then there's an act of God, a hurricane that brings all the poisons to the surface again. And then we watch the people in Friendswood try to deal with it.
Right. Well, Lee is a grieving mother whose teenage daughter has died from a terrible blood disease that she believes was caused by the chemicals in the field next to where they lived. And she will basically do anything to do what's right, and she will risk anything.
And what's right, as far as she's concerned, is that no one ever lives on that land again?
Exactly, and that no one builds on that land again. And Hal is on the opposite side. He believes that people need jobs and that the building should happen, that the chemicals were buried and it's safe now, and he wants success in real estate, and he wants to take care of his family. And he believes that if he prays hard enough, he prays a lot in the car, that prosperity will come to him.
I think this is a character that a lot of us could think of somebody in our own hometowns as sort of like this. He was a football star in high school. He's one of those people for whom high school was kind of a high point. And he hasn't been able to be as successful in life as he was in high school. And it makes him incredibly sad.
He tries very hard to cheer himself up, which in some ways is the saddest thing. He's a recovering alcoholic, and he sees his son out on the field, and that brings back all kinds of memories from how he played, and he sort of tries to replace the camaraderie of football with the camaraderie of things like barbecue. And I think that's why he's so invested in success in real estate, because he's just trying so hard to recapture that thing he had in his youth. And the man he's trying to impress, and the builder who's in charge of basically helping him, Avery Taft, was on the football team with him, but he wasn't as good as Hal. And it really irks him that now Avery Taft is the successful one.
I must say that you do cook up a fine sort of brimstone-laced conclusion for this book. So what I'm wondering is, are you going to go to your next high school reunion?
Well, so far the reaction of people in Friendswood has been very positive. I've even received a few letters from people who lived in the actual neighborhood that sort of inspired the neighborhood that's destroyed in the book, and they've said they're really happy that I'm telling the story. But also, I hope people will read it as a book about resilience and as a book about small towns, not just in Texas, but, anywhere.
Renee Steinke's new book is called Friendswood. Thank you very much for talking to us about your book.
Thank you so much for having me.
The name Kimbra may not be that familiar to you, but maybe her voice will be.
Said that you could let it go, and I wouldn't
Turn right on Butterwood Lane, then turn right.
That is Kimbra, with singer Gautier on the very popular award-winning song from 2011, Somebody That I Used to Know. And she now has a new album. It's a mix of soul, funk, jazz, and even disco.
Turn left on Pulaski Street.
The new album is called The Golden Echo. Kimbra joins me from NPR West. Welcome. Thank you. Hi. I was wondering why you call this album The Golden Echo.
Well, it actually came from a dream that I had in the last month of making the record. I felt these words come to me one night as I was falling asleep, and I went to investigate where this title came from, Golden Echo. It led me to a flower called Narcissus Golden Echo, which is a kind of daffodil. From looking at that flower, I was led to the story of Narcissus and went kind of venturing into Greek mythology for a while. And I kind of started to realize that there were two really strong energies on this record, not only lyrically, but even sonically. And I guess that's what the Golden Echo means to me, is kind of about being tuned into the sound that calls you outside of yourself.
Let's listen to another song, which is from the Golden Echo, and it's called Carolina.
Turn right on Wallace Street, then turn right. Recalculating.
So where does this come from? Carolina.
Then turn
Are you
left
talking
on
about
Murray Street.
North or South Carolina or some other Carolina?
Turn
Well,
left on
I've never
Murray
been
Street.
to North
Then
or
turn
South
left.
Carolina. I'm very interested in ideals and escapism. I think often we put places on a pedestal when we know nothing about them. And we say, like, wow, that must be paradise. And I think there's something about North Carolina, South Carolina. I mean, I've always imagined that it would be this kind of peaceful place and symbolizes to me something very iconically American. And that's really what the song is about, is kind of picking this place that you've kind of made up in your mind as where you'll find happiness or contentment.
Recalculating.